Hey guys, Krista here. Welcome to Storytelling, episode number 1. So here's the deal. I have been reading some crazy, amazing, mind-blowing marketing books in this last year, probably going into even 2 years. And I need to get it out and share all of this information with you lovely people. So I thought, what better way to do it than by storytelling? We all love to have stories read to us when we were little. But come on, I still love it. So here's the thing. You're going to be able to watch the video if you want to watch me, be all animated and stuff like that. Or you can, of course, tune into the Krista&ed show. And if you're listening to it here, welcome and listen to some of my favorite books. So I'm going to read probably about 10 or 15 minutes of all of my favorite books until we get to the end. And guys, I have read these books over and over and over again. And I'm also going to share links with you, of course, on where you can actually get your hands on some of them. Some of them aren't actually available to the public, so you won't be able to get your hands on them. But if you, find me interesting enough to listen to them, you will be able to get access to some of the amazing marketing tips and lead generation stuff out there that we have been tapping into. So the first book that I'm going to start with is by Russell Brunson. It is called Expert Secrets. Oh my God, you guys, this book is so amazing and it is absolutely life-changing. I have read this book about 8 times. It is such an easy read. And every time I read it, I pick up on more nuggets. So that's why I decided to do this, because I want you guys to start having those light bulb moments that I've had going off so that you can truly start growing your businesses and make this world a better place. All right. So just relax, get comfy, grab a coffee, do whatever it is that you need to do. And let me just take care of the rest. All right. So here we go. Chapter 1, the Charismatic Leader, the Attractive Character. Okay, so every great mass movement has a leader, guys. It's easy to assume that some people are just born leaders and others are not. It's possible that your biggest fear when you first read the title, Expert Secrets, was that you aren't a born leader or an expert. Okay, so I know that was true for me. Now, not me, but yeah, me. This is actually Russell Brunson talking here, and still is some of the time. In my personal life, I'm pretty shy and reserved, but when I'm in my element speaking about the topics that I've mastered, I'm able to lead. You see, people become leaders when they first try to master something for themselves. Then after they've discovered a path for themselves, they share their knowledge with others. It starts with your own personal growth, but then transitions into contribution. This guy totally speaks my language, guys, okay? This is like, I'm a visual person. He draws in stickman. I've always done this as well. And basically here's the student, and then the next step is contribution, okay? When you become the expert. So if you're nervous about having what it takes to be a charismatic leader, I want you to spend a few minutes talking to you, okay? My guess is that you're amazing. And I bet that the more amazing you are, the harder it is for you to believe it. Am I right? I've had a really rare opportunity to coach thousands of experts around the world in almost every market that you can dream of. What's interesting is when I look at all these amazing people changing the lives of tens of thousands, and in some cases, millions of people, almost all of them have felt an internal pull to want to serve and help people. It's almost like a voice inside of them telling them they are destined for greatness. So yet at the same time, they have this other voice that consistently tells them they're inadequate, that they're not enough, not smart enough, not focused enough, not thin enough, not experienced enough, not good enough. The strange thing is that often the more they do and the more people they help, the louder the voice of inadequacy becomes. Whether you're just starting this journey or you've been at it for a while, just know that the biggest hurdle you're likely to face is being okay with actually positioning yourself as an expert. What's equally important to understand is you're not alone, okay? I really feel for people struggling with that negative inner voice, because in all honesty, that's the way I often feel. I feel like I've been blessed beyond what any human being should ever be blessed with on this earth. And I feel that this gift I've been given from God is something I must share. In fact, if I don't share it, that would be an injustice to Him and the people that I could serve. Yet, as I'm out there in the trenches every single day, building companies, working with entrepreneurs, trying to change the world in my own little way, I will wrestle with these feelings of inadequacy. As I talk to people I realized that these same feelings kept most people from ever taking on the mantle of an expert. The voice keeps them from stepping up and stepping into that actual role. And it's a tragedy for a couple of reasons. First, it deprives them of the experience and the opportunities that they should have. And more importantly, it deprives the people whose lives they could actually be changing. Those people you could serve by sharing your God-given talents and expert abilities, guys, they might never be reached. So I want to pause here and take a moment. Not so much to convince you that you're an expert, but to give you whatever permission you might need to be able to move forward. So you have the ability, and I believe the responsibility, okay, to serve others with your gifts, whatever it is that they are. You've been blessed with talents, ideas, and unique abilities that have gotten you to where you are in life. And those gifts were given to you so you could share them with others. There are people today who need what you have, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting, guys. They're waiting for you to find your voice so you can help them change their lives. What a tragedy for them if you don't develop your voice now. The problem for most of us is that our unique abilities are things that come second nature to us, so they don't seem that amazing and we actually dismiss them. I'm so guilty of this. For example, I would say that one of my superpowers is being able to look at a business or product line and within seconds know exactly how the owner should be selling those products. I know what the scripts need to say. I know what the sales process needs to be. All these things just come so clearly to me. And as soon as I see a product, I just know for whatever reason, that is my unique superpower. So now I wasn't born with this power. I've spent over a decade of my life studying this stuff, okay, learning and experimenting with it. I've immersed myself in it for so long that now I can instantly see what needs to happen. So to me, it seems like common sense, right? How can people not see what I see? I might dismiss that skill because it comes so easily to me, but to other people, what I have is a superpower. It's a gift and it's a skill that people will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn from me. Not because I'm great, but because I spent so much time mastering that one skill. Okay, my guess is that your superpower won't seem like that big of a deal to you either, and it will be something that comes second nature, something so simple that it couldn't possibly be that important. If you're an amazing cook, it's not that big of a deal for you, but to someone who can't cook, it's a huge deal. Okay, maybe you're good at playing piano, fixing motorcycles, building chicken coops, dancing, or something else. Look at what comes easy to you and what you love to geek out on. And chances are that's where your superpower is actually hiding. Just waiting. It's just waiting, guys, to be developed and shared with the world. But Russell, I'm not certified. I can't help people yet. This is one objective I hear way too often. I'm not certified. I don't have a degree. I haven't been to school for this. How can I possibly claim to be an expert? I always smile when I hear these words come out of someone's mouth because I know where I came from. I ask them, well, I'm curious. You paid me $25,000 or $100,000 to teach you this stuff. Okay, what do you think my credentials are? They think about it and usually they say something like, I don't know, do you have any marketing degrees? I say, nope, I barely graduated from college and I got a C in marketing. I didn't get good grades and I don't have any certifications to my name. But guess what? I'm really good at what I do. My results are my certifications. Tony Robbins told me that when he first started learning neuro-linguistic programming, he signed up for a 6-month training course. And after just a few days, he fell in love with it. He gained a skill quickly and wanted to start helping people immediately. The trainer said, "You can't, you're not certified yet." Tony said, "Certified? I know how to help people, let's go help." That night, he left his hotel room, he walked across the street to the nearest restaurant and started helping people quit smoking and assisting them with lots of other amazing things. He ended up getting kicked out of the program because he was practicing without being certified. Yet he's gone on to transform tens of millions of people's lives using NLP, all without any certifications, okay? Your results are your certifications, guys. I hereby give you permission to help people. You're ready now. But Russell, what if others know more about my topic than me? Okay, well, there's a book, and it's actually a movie too, guys, and it's called Catch Me If You Can. That illustrates this point pretty well. It's the story of a famous con artist, Frank Abagnale, a brilliant high school dropout who masqueraded as an airline pilot and pediatrician and its district attorney, among other things. There's a point in this book where he starts teaching a sociology class at Brigham Young University, and he teaches the whole semester, and no one ever figures out that he's not a real teacher. Later on, when they finally do catch him, the authorities actually ask, "How in the world did you teach that class? You don't know anything about advanced sociology." He replied, "All I had to do," okay guys, listen to this, "all I had to do was read one chapter ahead of the students." Bam! That's the key. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable person in the world on your topic. You just have to be one chapter ahead of the people that you're helping. Okay, there will always be people in the world who are more advanced than you. That's totally fine, guys. You can learn from them, but don't let it stop you from helping the ones who are a chapter or two behind you. Okay? You got to figure out, who do you want to serve? If you're going to start a mass movement, okay, and create a vehicle of change, the first question that you have to ask yourself is, who do I want to serve? The answer to that question is typically people who are just like you before you became the expert, right? As a charismatic leader, you're going to lead people on the exact same path that you've already walked before. So sometimes it can be really hard to identify exactly who those people are. If you look closely, you'll find that almost all expert businesses are based on one of the 3 core markets. So there's health, there's wealth, and relationships. So my first question for you is, which of these 3 matches your area of expertise? Okay, is it wealth, is it health, or is it relationships? Now that you've identified which core market you fit into, we need to dig at least 2 levels deep to find what your specific audience, okay? So let me show you what I mean. So inside the 3 core markets, there are simple sub-markets. For example, inside health, you can have dozens of sub-markets like diet, nutrition, strength training, weight loss. Inside the wealth market, you may have finance, investing, real estate, and sales. And the same goes for the relationship market. You could have love, dating advice, marriage, and parenting. The list is practically endless, and in any of the 3 core markets, there are always new submarkets that are popping up. So my next question for you is, what submarket does your area of expertise fit into right now? Some of you may think that you've found your answer. You're a real estate expert, okay, or dating, or a weight loss coach. But the money is not actually in the sub-market, okay? The riches are in the niches, and those are one step beyond the sub-market. Okay, are you guys still with me? If you've already tuned out, it's because this is not your thing, and that's totally okay. But I geek out on this stuff because it's it's so mind-blowing, and you have to follow this to see where I'm going with it. Okay, so look around at the other experts in your submarket and see, what are they selling? Where do you fit into the ecosystem? What can you offer people that's different and special? The goal is to carve out a unique spot in that ecosystem where you can thrive. That's your niche, and that's the niche is one of the keys to the success as an expert. Okay? In the book Blue Ocean Strategy by Chan Kim and Renee Mauborgne, they talk about the fact that most markets are red oceans, they're full of blood, okay, because all the sharks have been feeding on the same small pool of fish. The submarket is very red ocean, which is why it can be difficult to have, success there. So if you think about how these markets have actually changed over time, you'll see that submarkets and niches developed as a reaction to those red oceans. So the first person who taught health, wealth, or relationships was working in a blue ocean, right? With no other sharks or competitors coming after their customers. But people quickly saw the success, so they jumped into the waters, right? So over time, the waters grew red with sharks feeding on the same customers. And that is why it became necessary for people to create their own beautiful, beautiful blue oceans. That's where the submarkets began. All right. The first teachers in these submarkets experienced great success as well, okay, until people jumped in there and they bloodied the waters. The smart people looked around and figured out what they could create inside of their submarket that would become a new opportunity for those new customers. They created a new blue ocean once again. So the mistake, you guys, many people make today is they start looking at the niches, they find one that looks good, and then they start building their company from there. The problem is that jumping into an existing niche is stepping into someone else's blue ocean, okay? And if you are the third, the fourth, the fifth person in that niche, then the waters are already starting to get bloody. Okay, so I suggest that you look at your submarket and you try to create a new niche. So a fresh blue ocean for yourself. Create a new opportunity for people so they'll actually want to dive in. This is what I mean when I say you need to carve out your own spot in the ecosystem. If you jump into an already existing red ocean, you'll be finding an uphill battle, but if you create a blue ocean, you will find success so much easier. Okay, I'm sure this makes sense to you conceptually, but in practice, it can be a little harder to nail down just the right niche, okay? So one that matches your superpower. When we get to secret number 3 later on, I'll show you how to identify exactly what you're offering and how you are unique in your own niche. For now, here's some examples to help illustrate these blue oceans, okay? So health, nutrition, high-fat diets, health, weight loss college for college students, wealth, real estate, flipping houses on eBay, wealth, online business, Facebook traffic for e-commerce products, relationships, parenting, dealing with teenagers, relationships, dating, how to recover after breakup, okay? Do you guys see that? So as you can see, you need to be a little creative, okay, to carve out your own niche, but it's the key to success. And you'll discover in secret number 3, what you have to offer must be different from everyone else in the market, okay? As you start looking around at the other experts in, where did I go? In your submarket, you're going to find out who your competitors are, right? What they teach and how they do so. Then you will start to see where you fit into the ecosystem. You want to create that message that will complement the other players in your market, not compete with them, okay? If you do this correctly, all your big competitors will almost instantly become your best partners. After I've identified the market I want to serve, here's what you do. I ask myself a few questions, okay, to make sure that particular market will be able to sustain my new expert business. So before I ask these questions, I actually back out of my main niche back to the submarket. I will be pulling people from the submarket into my new niche. So these questions relate to the people in the actual submarket. So question number 1. Would people in this submarket be excited about the new opportunity I'm presenting in my niche? Okay, because you're pulling people from a submarket into your niche. It's important to make sure they will be excited about what it is that you want to share. So you'll be creating a new opportunity for them, and it has to be something that will make them interested enough to actually take action. So for example, let's say your hot market is wealth, your submarket is real estate, and the niche you're going to carve out for yourself is teaching people how to flip houses on eBay. Would people in real estate be excited about this new niche? Right? Question 2, are the people in this market irrationally passionate? Before we ask how passionate the market is, I need to ask you a personal question. Are you irrationally passionate about your topic? When you hang out with friends or family members, do you always bring it up, even if no one else seems to care? If so, that's a good sign, okay? But are there others as irrationally passionate as you are? Here are some of the things I look for to determine if my market is irrationally passionate. Communities. Are there online forums and message boards and social groups dedicated to this actual topic? How about Facebook groups and fan pages? Are there YouTube channels, podcasts, blogs with others geeking out on this topic you love so much? Vocabulary. Does the market have its own special language? In internet marketing world, you hear words like autoresponder, split testing, squeeze pages. In the health biohacking market, they talk about blood tests and ketones. An irrationally passionate market always has its own vocabulary. Okay, so does your market have that? Events. Does this market have its own events? They might be online or offline conferences, seminars, summits, or masterminds. If events aren't happening in your market, you might have a hard time getting people to attend webinars and trainings. If they are already used to attending events, you'll have a much easier time. Okay, other experts. Does this market have its own celebrities and gurus? There must be established experts already thriving and selling information products in your market. You don't want to be the first celebrity in a market. You want a topic or a niche with its own subculture that's already established. So go through these questions as many times as you actually need to in order to find the best market for you. I don't want you to waste any time, energy, or money going after the wrong niche if people in your submarkets aren't likely to follow you. Okay? Question number 3. Are these people willing and are they able to spend money on information? Sometimes people are willing to spend money, but they aren't able because they're actually broke. Okay? Other times people have all the money in the world, they are able, but they're not willing to part with a dime. Your submarket must be both willing and able to spend money. Okay? For example, I had a friend, who saw a huge potential in the video game market. He spent a fortune trying to launch his product in this new niche. What he found was that even though there were plenty of kids playing video games, they didn't actually have credit cards. It's hard to sell your mom, right, on why you need to buy a course that will help you play video games better. Even though the kids he was targeting may have been willing to buy, they actually weren't able to. But the opposite is true as well. One of my inner circle members, Joel Irway, started the expert business selling to engineers who had good jobs. What he found was that most of his dream clients actually did have money, but they weren't willing to spend any money on coaching. So he spent almost a year trying different ways to sell his offers, and he had very, very few results. So as soon as he started selling to a market that was willing and able to buy, he became an overnight success. So who do you need to become as a leader? Well, J. Abraham once said that people are silently begging to be led. And I believe that that is actually very true. So how do you become the type of leader they need? I've come up with a few rules, you can follow to become a charismatic leader for your movement. Rule number 1, become an attractive character and live the life your audiences wishes they could live. So in secret number 6 of my first book, .com Secrets, don't worry guys, I'll be reading that as well. I talked about a concept called the attractive character. We went deep into figuring out your backstory, character flaws, identity, storyline, and more. So we'll be digging into some of those elements like identify and storylines throughout this book, but I recommend that you actually read .com Secrets to go a little bit deeper in understanding the attractive character. The key is to understand that the people will follow you because you have completed the journey they are on right now. And they want the results that you have already achieved. They want to actually become like you. And the gap between where they see themselves and where they see you is what moves them to action and helps them make the necessary changes. So if you aren't willing or don't show them both sides, where you came from and where you are now, they're not going to take action. Okay? That's why it's so important to live the life that your audience wishes they could, because that will inspire them, guys, more than anything you could ever say. Sometimes it's scary to become vulnerable and show your backstories as well as your life now. But it's the key to becoming a leader that will inspire people to change. Hey, thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching our video today. Make sure that you comment below, okay? Comment below with your biggest takeaway from today's video with hashtag krist&ed. And if you liked this video, just do me a favor, hit that like button below. Share it with other entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody that you know who needs marketing tips. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for new tips, interviews, and a little insight to the craziness that goes on in our everyday life. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.